Alyssa Orange joining us here from Pigtrail Nation. Alyssa, these guys are signing autographs today.
She dropped for a second. I'm going to have to call her back.
Well, so we just lost her.
Yeah.
I was wondering about autograph signing. Connor's got a pretty good one. I don't know if I've seen Jackson's. McIntyre, I think, is working on his autograph as we speak, as someone who was the 20th pitcher to get on the field last year. I wonder how many autographs he was asked for before he really got things going. My autograph might be one of the ugliest in all of Arkansas. And there's nothing I can really do with this. You ever try to sign a baseball? It's the most impossible thing to sign, especially for people with terrible handwriting like me. And it's funny, like, I don't know if I've seen Drew's handwriting all that much as long as we've worked together here.
Oh, it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
I've had every teacher from first grade tell me it's the worst they've ever seen.
Alyssa, I was just promoting this Razorback baseball player meet and greet. There's autographs for the players that are there. I get asked for an autograph every once in a while. It's got to be the worst in the state. No matter how many times I try, it's just a bad-looking autograph. I'll practice. What about you? You have nice handwriting, so I'm assuming your autograph is probably a work of art.
Well, so I'm probably one of those people that I write in cursive all the time. Like,
what?
I was really
Weird.
upset yeah, I write in cursive all the time. I don't write in print. I write in cursive. Like, that's my everyday handwriting. So
you're the person my third grade teacher talked about saying you're going to use this when you're an adult. You're the one person that took that to heart.
I'm the adult. I'm the adult. I do. I just write in cursive. It's just easier for me. It's quicker for me. And so I guess my signature is okay. I mean, I can do it really fast and then it gets sloppy. But I guess since I'm used to writing in cursive every day, that's just second nature to me. But I don't necessarily think it's the most beautiful thing. Now, my sister-in-law has some of the best handwriting. It looks like it's typed up. It's so good. It's incredible.
How are you with calligraphy then? I mean, let's take it a step higher.
Oh. So I've tried that. I'm really bad at the whole, the way that you have to hold the pen and rotate your wrist to get the fancy. I'm bad at it. So I've tried, and it just isn't worth trying. It's worth telling my Cricut machine to write it out for me.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about with the bending of the wrist, and I've never tried calligraphy because nobody can read my print anyway. So there you go. And I'm not even a doctor, so I don't have that going for me. Alyssa, I was trying to keep track of this, the incoming baseball transfers. The outgoing transfers, I think, have slowed down because I'm not sure how many are left, to be that honest, of the returners. I think you feel pretty confident right now. You got like 12 returners, 8 transfers out, 13 transfers in. And I'm racking my brain. The next year with Arkansas baseball will be my 9th, and it'll be the most transformative just because of it's a totally different team, and I have no clue what it's going to look like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it reminds you a lot of the basketball team, right? And it's just the world we live in. And we're just going to have to buckle up and get used to it, Phil, I think, because you're absolutely right. Like, the one thing I feel like you could always count on with baseball season is you knew who these guys were right off the bat because you've been covering them for a couple of years. So you got through the whole getting to know process by the time these guys were sophomores and juniors. That, it was really enjoyable to watch because you've been covering them for a couple years. And so I just think across the board with college athletics, this is what the world is going to be like. And it is what it is. But they brought in talent. And, hey, you said it last week. Like, Arkansas is going to lose guys, but they're going to bring in the right guys, too. And until they don't bring in guys, that's when you need to start worrying. So I think we've kind of told fans to calm down. It's okay. This is going to be a completely different ball game, but they're still going to be talented. But it's going to be something you got to get used to. You got to look down the roster and remember guys' names and glance a couple times to make sure you said the right one. But get used to it because I feel like that's just what we're in.
Yeah, Alyssa, the landscape of college athletics really has changed a lot in the short time of the 2020s here. We've gone from one-time transfers to then more realignment, NIL. Over the last few years, which one has been hardest for you to kind of wrap your mind around? Is it the being able to just pack up your stuff, transfer out of a program, be able to play the next day? Is it these 6-figure NIL deals, or is it the fact that one day here in a few years, you're going to wake up at 9 a.m. and see Ohio State play USC in a Big Ten conference game?
You know what? The Big Ten can do whatever they want. They don't really bother me that much. And I won't be waking up at all to ever watch an Ohio State game. So that's fine. But, you know, I really think it might be the transfer thing. Only because I did like the approach where we had where if you do transfer, you have to sit out a year. Unless you're a grad transfer, then you can play right away. I really like that model because it does make your student athletes have to sit down and truly weigh their options. And I am not saying at all that they're not. There are definitely situations where leaving is the most beneficial for the student athlete. It's most beneficial for the team they're leaving and then going to. And so I know that there are circumstances where I'm not saying this is just you woke up today and decided to transfer. Mm-hmm. But I do think that it's good that you have a little bit of, hey, if you make this decision, this is what comes with said decision. You got to sit out a year. And if you're cool with that, then you can play some more. And we've seen it be successful up until a few years ago with the one-time transfer rule coming in. Now, I also do see where it's benefit. I mean, you look across Arkansas landscape, and it was beneficial for men's basketball and women's basketball. But Chelsea Dunsey transferred in and had to sit a year, and Amber Ramirez transferred in and had to sit a year, and all of that worked out okay. Destiny Slocum transferred. She was a grad transfer, able to come in. Sasha Goforth transferred, able to play right away. That was also good. So I can see pros and cons with that. NIL, I think we're not seeing what NIL truly is yet. So, you know, yeah, is NIL on the cusp of getting out of control? Kind of already is. But I think that they'll very soon start regulating a little bit more. But I don't think we're going back on the one-time transfer rule where you can transfer and play immediately. And so of the three, that's probably the one that is the most, dang, I wish we could go back to the way that it was.
Mm-hmm. And with the realignment stuff and everything that's happened and all the theories, ideas that have been thrown out since last Thursday's announcement of USC and UCLA moving to the Big Ten, so many people have different ideas of ACC, it's now your time to do something. Big 12, you've got to do something. SEC, Greg Sankey, you've got to do something. Alyssa, we're less than we're about 2 weeks out from the 1-year anniversary of when the Texas OU news dropped during SEC Media Days last year. Do you think that we're maybe on the course for another big bomb from Greg Sankey and the SEC office out of Birmingham during SEC Media Days this year? Or do you think that it really is that's kind of the big move of the summer, and then we're going to reevaluate and see what it all happens?
Yeah, I think the latter. I think that might be the big news of the summer, and then next year it'll be something else. I was scrolling through social media and reading on some things, and it sounds like to get out of the ACC, for example, obviously that's where I have personal interest. It's a lot of financial burden with TV money that you have to pay the ACC your television revenue through if you leave, and that includes, I believe, the revenue you're getting from another league. So, for example, if Florida State and Clemson were to leave the ACC and join the SEC, they'd owe the ACC TV revenue money. So the ACC, it sounds like with what I've read, makes it really hard for them to get out of it, because I would love that. I would love for the SEC to pick up those two schools. I think it would be a blast. I think they'd be good fits. But I just don't see that happening this quickly unless it's one of those schools says, okay, we'll just suck it up and go. And I don't think that's going to happen. And I just don't see the ACC stealing any teams from any big conferences that are going to make waves like Texas and OU and UCLA and USC did.
Yeah, but it's like you said. I mean, if you're going to look for two schools that probably are the best fit overall, I think they're the ones you mentioned, and probably Florida State at the top of the list. I think Florida State probably is the best fit for the SEC of maybe any of the schools that are not currently in the SEC, outside of Texas and OU, and let's just say that they're in. Why do I feel that way? I can't even really put a finger on why I feel that way. You know that school better than most that are listening right now.
Yeah. Well, I think you just from a competitive brand standpoint, it's a recognizable brand that immediately grabs attention. You're not, you're going to get from a SEC standpoint, the revenue, the eyeballs, the interest in that program. But they've been competitive across the board. I mean, you even look at FSU soccer, who won a national title and has won multiple the past couple of years, could easily fit into what a competitive soccer league that the SEC has. You look at baseball, and they are regulars in the College World Series for the most part. Football has been down, and let's really hope that football can turn it around. But the basketball team going to the Elite Eight and the Sweet 16 and making runs as in the ACC, even when the ACC was down last year, and Florida State was one of those more down teams. I think you could just do that. And then obviously you end the season already playing Florida, so you have rivalry weekend taken care of. And they open up the season this year in New Orleans against LSU. So they're always playing SEC schools when they can anyways. Why just not bring them on in?
I'm all for it right now, to be honest. But
Yeah,
I do think it's going to be quite a while because of this 2036 grant of rights in the ACC. Alyssa, appreciate you. I hope you have a great week. And by the way, I got a great idea for you now on Pig Trail Nation at some point. Since it's a visual medium, a column written by Alyssa Orange in cursive that gets posted up so people can read it, as I'm interested in seeing this beautiful handwriting, this cursive handwriting.
Okay, well, maybe I'll write you. I'll pull Sam Pittman and write you a note.
Okay, sounds great. Sounds great. All right. And it doesn't work on radio, unfortunately, but it does work on television.
Partners at BetOnline continue to be the #1 source for all your betting needs and sports info. Find all the latest odds, news, and sports developments, including this year's Wimbledon Finals, Major League Baseball, the latest fighting news, and even next season's early NFL futures. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code BLEAV. That's BLEAV to get the bonus and get into the action. Bet online, where the game starts.